Okay, everybody, let's close our eyes and take a deep breath as we do our first Patreon group meeting. Tonight, we know that all groups come together by divine appointment, where souls who have known each other in the divine realms come together in the physical to answer each other's questions, to lift each other up, especially at this pivotal time on earth. And that we are all bound together by the hunger of our hearts, souls, and minds to understand how to navigate these times on earth and our own personal times of grief, change, and metamorphosis. And we know that all of these answers and inspirational ideas will come to us just as we ask for them. And so we do tonight. And so it is. Thank you all so much for coming. So tonight I'm going to cover several things, and one is our theme that the angels gave me today is grief and ascension and how they work together, and how grief is part of not only our own lives as a great spiritual teacher, but for the entire planet right now. There's a level of grieving of what is happening and how people are being divided and wars and all of this grief, and bringing that to aid our ascension into highest self. And I know that probably all of you here have walked and are walking the journey of grief and are using it also as your process of ascension, of feeling that pain and seeking higher answers. And so tonight I'm really open to answering and responding to any of your questions about that, about the navigation of grief, about what ascension means to us individually and collectively. And especially tonight, I want to talk about how do we prepare for the year 2024. And I say that with kind of a deep breath, because 2024 is going to be an 8 universal year, and 8 is the number of power. So I'll leave it at that for now, and we'll come back to that conversation. The other thing I want to talk about tonight is each month we're going to cover one number and talk about the meaning of it for all of us, and for those of us who are on that birth path, what that means, and also in our personal years, if we're in that number, what that means, and what does a universal number of that mean for the universe. And tonight we're doing the number 1, so that will be very fun. And then, of course, Q&A. I'm here to answer all your questions. I will channel in answers as needed from the collective, the angelic collective, and that is how we're going to do this. And I'm so grateful you're all here. And I know that some people have written some questions in the chat that they would like. That's good. Okay, good. So it's a mixture of numerology, of spirituality, of channeled in answers, and of your intentions of what you would like to receive here. So on that group note, I would like to start by asking you, and you don't have to identify yourself when you speak, because this is being recorded for the future of the Patreon members when they join, and your photos will not be shown in the recording. So when you speak up, you don't have to share your name, or if you're comfortable, you can. What is your primary hope for this monthly group, and what do you most want to receive from it tonight? And who would like to go first with that? Just jump in.
I just a point of connection and enlightenment from you. I'm really interested in learning more about numerology. I loved our session when we met, and I love your calculator. Thank you for that, because I wanted to project, because I remembered like 2017 was a good year for me, and I wanted to know what number I was in that year. So I, was looking to calculate further ahead, and, just meeting more
Perfect.
people
Kelly,
in the
that's
journey.
perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I hope you all have taken advantage of that that calculator. It's on my website, and you can go there and input a birth date, and it will tell you instantly the birth path, the way I add it, the 3 different ways, and it'll tell you your personal year that you're in. And it gives you all that information in the blink of an eye. So tonight, if you have any questions about that, first go and calculate it yourself, and then ask me about what that means, maybe, but you can go and calculate it on the calculator. So you just go to SueFrederick.com, and on the top nav bar and on the bottom nav, it says Soul Path Calculator. And you just click on that, input your information, and you'll get the answers. So who else wants to share their intention or hope for tonight and for moving forward? Jen? Or
Oh, sorry.
whoever. You guys
You can go
organize
ahead.
yourselves.
You can go ahead. Amber, go ahead.
Okay, no, I just wanted to say that mostly I'm looking for community. I'm feeling a bit adrift, and just seeing you all here is really grounding me, and I need that right now. Just enlightenment, and any group that you do, Sue, I get very excited about it anyway. And yeah, that's it.
And
And
Amber,
learning.
I want to address that also, because grief is hard, especially this time of year. And starting now, as we move into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and and even just the weather and everything's getting kind of dark and cold outside, it's all turning us inward and making us feel those feelings for better or worse. And I know that yesterday I was blessed, I got to spend time with Christy yesterday, and we were definitely talking about how this time of year triggers things for her. So I just want you to know that establishing community here, it's heart to heart. We all are here to love on each other, support each other, especially pertinent during this time of the year. And I honor so much that you're here, Amber, and we love you and Jagger so much. So, okay, Jen.
I didn't really know what to expect. I just learned about it yesterday, but something said you need to do this, so I'm doing it. And also after our session, Sue, I made a commitment to myself to do something new, different. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'm happy to be here with all of you. I had
Yeah.
no idea what to expect.
Well, we're so glad you're with us. And that was a pretty amazing session we had yesterday. So I'm thrilled. Was it yesterday or Friday?
Friday.
Friday. So I'm just thrilled to see you here and joining us. It's perfect timing. So anybody else? Christy, did you want to say something?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll go.
okay.
I of
Proceed.
course want to be in any group that Sue's in. So as soon as she told me about this, I knew I was going to join. But I'm always like Amber, just wanting to learn more and more. And I love numerology, and I can't wait to see how this unfolds. And I'm always happy to be a part of a community of like-minded people. So I'm excited to be here with you.
Well, I'm thrilled that you're here, and it's no accident that you're a one path, and we're talking about ones tonight. She's rolling her eyes. She didn't really want to be on the spot. If you know Christy, you know. That's okay, Christy. I won't make you talk.
I'm okay in this small group.
This is a small group. Yeah, so you should be comfortable. Okay. Have I heard from who else? Christine, have I heard from you?
Yeah, I haven't gone. I echo just what everybody else was saying, just looking for community, looking for direction. just having a place that everybody shares that kind of positive energy, and just learning more about numerology and all
Yeah.
the things. So yeah, just looking forward to it.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. And
Thank
then Mary, you want to say hello, Mary?
Sure. I'm Mary. I'm a member of Helping Parents Heal. Christy, I think you and I crossed paths last summer. We were, if you remember, we were in that hotel room having pizza.
At the
Anyway, I don't know if you're
conference.
at the conference. I don't know if you remember that, Christy, but
Yeah.
you and I chatted a little bit. And Amber, thank you for having that peacock picture. I felt led to this place, to this meeting, and my symbol for my daughter who's in spirit is peacock feathers. And so it really took my breath away when I saw your picture of a peacock. So
Aw.
obviously my daughter wanted me to come.
Well, I'm
And I
very
have
glad.
I have a daughter who is here in the physical, who is a 1111 master soul that I learned from Sue. And I struggle with my relationship with her and her big lessons here on earth. And so I'm happy you're talking about one, Sue, because you need to teach me about 1111 master soul.
Yeah. 1111s are very kind of tough to navigate because that sensitivity is so off the charts, and that kind of sensitivity can either make you really shut down completely, and it usually will make you shut down at some point in the journey. And then you have to choose to open up once you really gain your spiritual footing. I just am so in awe of souls who pick a 1111 birth path. I feel like I just want to bow down and go, you are so courageous. You are so courageous. So
How
Mary,
about the mother? How about the mother of a 1111?
you are so courageous. You are so courageous, Mary. We're very clear on that. And isn't your daughter in spirit a 7 path, Mary?
Oh, she is. How'd you remember that?
I don't know. Random memory.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So we'll talk. Anyway, we'll get to all of this. All right. Has everybody said what their intention is, what they would like to get from it? Okay. So I want to talk for a moment about grief and ascension. Let me just share something that was coming through today, because I am on all of these podcasts all the time, on other people's podcasts, and I'm very blessed. It's because my publisher, my new book came out, and nowadays that's kind of a book tour. You get on all these different podcasts of people, and they talk about things. And literally almost every podcast I've been on, people are asking or talking about the ascension. And I'm wondering, do you all know what that means? Do you have questions about it? Because I've really been asking the angels and asking my guides what this means, because it's really being tossed around in our language. And then I started feeling into that in my meditation. And what does it have to do with 2024 coming up in January? And I do feel that they're all connected. So to try to get this message through clearly, I just want to tell you just going to call in the angelic realm collective at the moment to talk about grief and ascension. Take a deep breath, everybody, and let's listen. We know that this is a time on earth when people are feeling the pain of the old ways of the world falling away. This means that people are standing on unsure footing on earth and also in their personal lives, whether they project that to be about politics, about religion, about war, or about relationships, or losing a loved one. It is a time of things feeling shaky, unsettled, insecure. Of course, we know that humans are not ever comfortable on earth, because the earth realm is the hardest realm to exist in. And so we honor all of you, and we try to comfort you right now by explaining that this time of feeling grief is the shaking away of what needs to be released, so that spirit can rise to a higher frequency. By spirit, we mean all of your souls. can rise to a higher frequency while you're on Earth. This is imperative right now. This is the point of the chaos, the conflict, the turmoil on Earth. And so the way you walk through this is by, of course, grieving what you need to grieve, and yet in the next moment or in the next breath, saying, I love you to the spirit of your departed, seeing them right beside you, making peace with your neighbor, making peace with friends you haven't spoken to, finding your ascension in holding a high frequency of love and compassion in the midst of your grief, in the midst of your fear. This is the only way through these times. And yes, we tell you 2024 is going to be a very intense year. And yet groups like this will hold a light and give us a way to walk through it with heart and courage and a higher frequency of awareness, opening our intuition to which way to go. In every moment of crisis, there is always a door opened that is the right way to go. Only the heart can find that door. We know that all of you will find your way through this because you know to quiet your mind, open your heart, and trust that your soul longs for that higher frequency, that higher vibration, and will take you there as long as you don't let your thoughts of fear and anxiety hold you back. And so it is. I want to ask you all if, so I have to talk about 2024. 2024 has been popping in my field so much. It is an 8 universal year. 8 is the number of power. And in the wrong use of power, it's a number of power abuse, greed. You can say bullying, just things like this that we also see happening on the planet. And then the right use of power is just as possible in an 8 year. And what that means is standing in the higher frequency of love, of compassion, of kindness, of empowering others. That is the right use of power. And so as we move into this 8 year frequency for the universe, it really means that all of you, everybody on earth, is being asked to take a stand in that power drama. Are you standing for the right use of power, or are you standing for the wrong use of power? And you know in your heart which choice is which. But whenever you feel yourself being unkind, judgmental, angry, which are such common feelings in the world today, that is time to take a breath and reach for that ascension vibration of show me the way to see this through my soul's viewpoint, my divine lens, where I understand that all of these players are like a Shakespeare play. Everyone's wearing a different costume to illuminate a different moral dilemma for humans. And so what costume are we wearing? What costume and role are we going to take in 2024 in the year of power? And spiritual power is the greatest power of all. And that doesn't mean religion or dogma, but it means the ability to stand strong in the midst of conflict and chaos, but strong in connection to higher self, God consciousness, and a heart full of love. That is our strength in 2024. Do you have any questions about 2024 or observations?
I feel like I'm, from what you're saying, I don't know, I don't want to get into politics here, but it's a little scary to think that somebody could take advantage again of this year coming up. But I guess that's really if that is the case, I'm going to look at it in the positive, and that it's
Right.
just going to make us rise higher and look at it as that is the purpose of that for
And,
us.
and
to-
Kelly, that's beautifully said, because I've really been given the guidance that, you know, we don't want to go into it with expectations of it going a certain way, because it's going to surprise us all. And it's sort of like a roller coaster year. You know how you get on the roller coaster and there's this huge high, and then there's the drop, and then there's a high, and then there's a drop. But you hope you can just put your hands in the air and scream and laugh as you move through it. That's kind of the role of this 8 universal year. But I'm very clear that when we come through the end of it and we start moving into the 9 universal year of 2025, that is going to complete this crazy cycle that we have been on. And if we go back and look at when was I had figured this out before and I forgot to write it down, but the last, let me see here. It was 2016. Oh, that's so amazing. No, it was 2015, right? Yeah. 2015 was the last 8 universal year that we experienced. So if you go back and look at 2015, I think things were going along pretty well at that point. And then we hit 2016, which was the election year in that cycle. And that was our 9 year. And that was the end of that cycle. So then in 2017, in the universal years, we started this new cycle that we're on now, and that we're moving into an 8 universal year of. So of course that has to do with politics. You know, you don't want to talk about it specifically, but that is really when so much political turmoil was happening. So the good news is we ride through this year of power and roller coaster rides of next year of 2024. And we come out on the other side in the 9 year, the ending of the cycle. And then we were able to finally let go of the parts of humanity that we've been bringing to the surface to heal so that we can release. And that might be greed, that might be hatred, that might be discrimination. That's what we can hope for, that all of those things are brought to the surface, healed, and released, so that as we move into the new cycle that begins in 2025, is that right? No, that's not right. I lost all my numbers in my head right now. 8, 9, 1. What's the one universal year? It's 2025.
26.
20 what?
Yeah, no, 26.
26. Okay. So that'll be the one. And then that means we get to really recreate everything here and make it better. So we're just sort of riding through birth and labor and giving birth to this new phase of, I believe, the ascended humanity, the higher evolved frequency of life on Earth, that where we are more in touch with our higher selves, with God consciousness, and with our departed loved ones, seeing and feeling them so much closer to us than ever. And I think part of the unrest that we're feeling on Earth right now is that sense of knowing that it's kind of going to be an intense year. And I don't mean it negatively. I think intensity is good. I mean, I've always ridden the intense path of life. You know, it makes growth happen quickly and learning happen quickly. And it's certainly not going to be a boring year. So any questions about that before? Oh, the main thing for all of you to get through this year of 2024 is to be sure that you're meditating every day, that you're doing spiritual practice that will connect you to your higher self, and that you're not spending all of your time looking out at the physical world and maybe feeling a certain kind of way about how things are playing out, and really spending time with community, with like-minded community, time in classes that are uplifting your heart, your soul, your mind, and in spiritual discussion. and in your channel, your connection to source, and getting your informations and your downloads from source. I do believe that part of this ascension that we're moving through is where everyone here finally understands we all have our own connection to God consciousness, to source, and we don't feel a need to go to, I mean, yes, you can go to a church if you like that, but we won't need to know that somebody else is going to connect us to source. We will all completely know that we have that pure connection to source, and we'll be channeling it in, whether we're writing, automatic writing, whether we're channeling it in our words, or whether we're channeling it in our work as a healer. This is the new humanity that we're heading for, where each person is so in touch with God consciousness, so in touch with the loving source, that nothing in this outer world can pull you off your center, make you feel bad, or distract you from what is true and important and good. So, any questions or comments?
I just had a quick question about how you blend, like my personal year next year is going to be a 5, and how you blend that with an 8.
Yeah, well, that's always a good question, because that really begins to break down how this year will affect you. So if you're going to be in a 5 year, which is a year of great change, of great adventure, finding courage in your heart, you know, it feels like you will be pulled out in the world, because a 5 is about being in the world, and it won't be a year of feeling like you can separate from what's going on. You will be a part of it. However, because it's a 5 for you, your way through is going to be courage of the heart, because courage is your word of truth in your 5 personal year. Whatever comes at you, courage of the heart. And that will be how you ride the roller coaster of 2024. I like that. Anybody else you want to ask me about your personal year or anything like that? Kelly, you had a question about your personal year. What is your personal year coming up?
That's what I have to go remember.
So just go to that calculator. Go to my
That's what I was
website.
about to do.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to ask about their personal year?
Mine will be 7 in 2024.
That's so good, Amber.
Is it?
Because, yeah, because it really means that whatever is going on in the outer world, turning inward and doing everything you're doing, from your spiritual pursuits to your studying different things, taking all these classes, that will be your peace. That will be your finding repose in the middle of whatever happens. And isn't Jagger a 7 path?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
so
yes.
it's very much feeling Jagger's presence constantly 24/7, and feeling that in your personal riding through the power games that will happen, that it won't really matter that much, because you're going to be in your beautiful 7 bubble of spiritual focus, connected with Jagger, writing. I hope you're writing that book, Amber. Meditating, all of that beautiful 7. I mean, there couldn't be a better way to get through it than a 7 year. It's like being able to be in a monastery as the world goes crazy.
Am I hearing there may be some ease for me?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what you're hearing. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We're all very happy about that, Amber. Anybody else want to ask about their personal year moving into 2024?
I just did the calculator. I'll be a 6.
So you're going to be in a 6 personal year in an 8 wild year in the universe. So that means for you, it's about relationship, heart, healing the heart, healing your relationships, your home. Your refuge will be home, heart, relationships. And remind me, do you have a partner, Kelly? I can't remember your story.
Yes, yes.
And so is that a place of refuge for you?
Yes, we're obviously going through the grief journey, and navigating that and yeah.
So for you in 2024, it's like tend to your house, tend to your home, to your relationship with partner, your family, and the healing of the heart from grief. And that will be how you watch the world do its crazy power games in the outer world. Don't let it mess with your heart, Kelly.
Okay.
Just know that the answer to your pain in this year coming up is about feeling the pain. You've got to feel the grief, releasing it, and then opening your heart to feel love and connection with others, and even helping other people who are grieving, like in helping parents heal, connecting with other people who are in a place of grief and comforting them in whatever ways you can.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie. All right. Anybody else? Personal year question. Christy,
Okay,
I was
I'm
waiting.
throwing out.
Aren't you
I'm a
going into
1
a
year.
one personal year? Yes. So that means, this outer world has no way to knock you off your center, Christy. I mean, you are a Taurus 1 path. That is a path that says, I'm here, get out of my way, everybody. The world can go crazy, and Christy, you're going to be just fine. And everybody's going to be coming to you for strength and support, especially in your 1 year, because you will be so strong. Did I lose Christy? Gosh, yes, suddenly she dropped out, but I'll just keep recording this. Christy is so strong on this Taurus 1 path that in the crazy 8 year of 2024, she will be a source of strength for others. That's just how she rolls. And of course, she will have moments of sadness and moments of her own grief, but nothing will knock Christy off of her center, no matter how crazy the world could be in 2024. Christy, I hope you could hear part of that. I know you dropped out for a minute. Wait, you got to unmute, sweetie.
It's funny. I just happened right when you were talking about me, but I'll hear it later.
Well, basically, I said the 8 universal year can't mess with you. That everybody will be coming to you for strength and grounding. And that, of
Sounds
course,
about right.
And you will still move through your own grief, but you are one of those beings who can stand strong in the midst of outer world chaos. And that is your gift. And you are offering that to all those who love you, and everybody loves you, Christy.
I love you too.
Okay. Anybody else have a personal year question about 2024? All right. So I'm going to talk about the meaning of the number 1. So right now, as we discuss this, I want you all to be thinking of who in your life might be on a 1 path lifetime, birth path, or a 1 personal year. So for example, Christy is on a 1 life birth path for this whole lifetime, but she also in 2024 is going into a 1 personal year. So it's a big year of ones for her. And the 1 is the way that number sounds and feels as you say it and think about it. It's about strength. It's about standing alone and strong and leading others. And it's about overcoming your own doubt and fear that you are worthy of standing strong and leading others. The 1 path life means you came into this lifetime with some childhood circumstances that were going to make you have a choice. Am I going to question my worth, or am I just going to decide that my unique point of view, my unique ideas, my unique personality and sense of self is of value? And when you make that yes answer, yes, my one unique, authentic self is of value, not only to myself, but to help lead others, then you are on the right energy of the one path journey. And it doesn't mean you won't ever have self-doubt again, but what you will show to the world when you are on path is you will be saying, come this way. Let's go over here and try this. Let's study this. Let's invent this. Let's make the world better by thinking this way. That is the one path visionary. And they rise to the top like cream wherever they go. If they work in the corporate world, they just get promoted up and up and up until they're the CEO, even if they're not the most qualified person there. And in a family configuration, they will be the center. They will be the one that everyone gathers around and sort of is just drawn to. And if they are alone and single in some of the younger years of their life, they might question their worth then, because they might feel, gee, you know, I'm so independent and I think differently. Can I ever have family and love and all of that? But the answer is, of course. Of course, you will find the partner who is unique, just like you, and who stands beside you and honors your unique, authentic, powerful, visionary self. And every one path I know finds that. It may not be at the same conventional way that maybe people on a different path might find it early on in their life. But the one path is never here to stop leading. So sorry, Christy, you don't get to hide out. It means that you'll be starting a school for healing grief. You'll be writing a book about it. You'll be giving talks in your way, in your time. You can't push a one path, but their own energy and their own fortitude. Fortitude is a big word for the one path, because they wake up in the morning thinking, what do I need to do to take care of myself? And how can I make my world go the way I need it to go today? And they have that authority, that ability to do that. And the one paths, I've always had great friendships with one path women, especially because they're so strong. They are so confident. They are always different thinkers, which I cherish. So even if they're born in a conventional Southern place, for example, they will think differently. They will think according to what their heart and their soul tells them to think, not what the world tells them. So in a one personal year, you who might not be on a one path get to experience that for that year of your life. In other words, you feel different from others. You feel that your own inner voice is stronger than ever. You're not quite sure what to do with it. And it's maybe telling you to quit a job and go out on your own original path. And I can say in a one personal year, yes, you need to follow that inner impulse, that authentic self pathway, and forget trying to have a boss or fit into a conventional role, because you're the leader, you're the visionary. I've had many clients I've worked with who say, you know, I don't know what to do with my child. They just won't follow the rules, like they're just not behaving right. And then of course we look, and that child is the one path soul. And I always go, boy, you're just not going to win that one. You're not going to get that child to behave in the way you want, but you don't want them to behave. You want them to follow that unique self. In fact, one of my favorite memories of Sarah's childhood is she had a really good friend, a little girl who was a one path soul. I was always doing numbers, even when Sarah was in preschool. You know, I would find out one of her friends' dates of birth and figure it out. But this little girl, Abby, was so unique and such a character. And in preschool, Montessori preschool, one day we showed up to pick up the kids, and the teacher said, Abby led a revolt today. She had the kids climbing the fence to leave the playground. We had to pull them all back in. She was upset about the snack we had served. And I was like, Abby, yes, leading the revolt in preschool. That is so one path. So when you have a friend like that, you just have to cherish them, however direction they're going to go in, and know that they're the boss. And if you can accept that and let them be that way, then not ever try to control them or make them behave in a certain kind of way, then you're going to have a friend for life. So any questions about the one, the energy of the one?
I have a question. What happens when a 1 and an 8 are in a relationship?
Yeah, and I have a good friends couples who are 1s and 8s, and that means they have the 9 soul agreement.
Yeah,
So,
right.
you know, I mean, those are both like the 1 and the 8, they don't bend, you know, they're just both powerhouses. And so the 9 agreement means that they have to surrender and let each other be who they are, and they can find great love in that, but it has spaces between it. You know, it's not like the couple who spends all their time together. It's really about giving each other space and about allowing the 8 soul, who is so powerful, and the 1 who is so independent, to have their own space and still feel loved and loving to each other. That's why I say it takes a special person to, when you're on the 1 path or even on the 8, when you find your true love, it's going to be a unique relationship. And the 1 path always has a relationship where their partner isn't home all the time because they don't want them to be, you know, and it works.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much.
So any questions? And how are any of you in a 1 personal year right now? Well, not yet, but Christy will be. So, all right, so let's do Q&A in the time that we have left. These, you know, you can ask personal questions. You don't have to use your name or anything. Your photo won't be shown in the recording. So just, is there anything about your particular path, your particular relationships, your particular personal year, or anything else, your journey of grief, your journey of ascension, that you would like to ask? And just jump in. And don't forget, if you have a question, you're helping other people when you ask it, because other people are probably thinking the same thing.
I just wanted to notice that Amber, and I don't see everyone's name anymore, but our children in spirit are 7s and we are all 11s. I don't know if that's
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's the 9 soul agreement.
that's a 9 soul agreement.
Yeah, because if you're an 11 and your child is a 7, that's a 9 soul agreement also. So that means, yes, the hardest lessons, the surrender, and allowing that person to have a different kind of relationship with you by being in the spirit world. Does that help?
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that
Yeah, I think it is, definitely. Yeah. And let's see, somebody else here. Jen, aren't you an 11 path soul as well?
I am, and my son in spirit is a 7.
Oh, wow. So it was Kelly, Jen, Amber.
and
That is amazing.
and Mary, I thought.
Mary, your daughter was a 7,
My
right?
daughter's a 7, and my daughter that's still here in the physical is an 11.
An 11.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So,
So
but
amazing.
they had a very close relationship, I think.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that they had a soul agreement between the 2 of them.
Yeah. And, you know, one thing I found is there's always a theme in every group. So we're really talking about these 7s and 11s. And Mary brought it up at the very beginning, talking about how tricky it is to have a triple 11 master soul daughter. But I would even say just to be on the 11 path, even if it's not triple 11, is, you know, it's a challenging journey because you are so sensitive, even if you don't show it. You might have picked a sun sign that gives you kind of a shell that you don't show your sensitivity, but It doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean that you're not feeling the pain of this world, and transmuting it into higher consciousness, transmuting it into, why does this world hurt me? Oh, I'm going to seek answers from the divine to understand it. That's the goal. That's the beauty of being sensitive, is you're going to be seeking answers to the hard questions, because life is uncomfortable. And whether you're a single 11, a double, or a triple, life on earth is not easy, because you feel the pain not only of your journey of knowing what other people are thinking and feeling, but you feel the collective pain, and you feel the collective pain of war. You feel the collective pain of prejudice. You feel all of that. And if you don't know how to navigate that sensitivity and those feelings, you can get very depressed, or even turn to substances to comfort you or to numb you out. But we know that the only answer, the only balm to this sensitivity, is to get your insights from the divine, to say, please, my team in the higher realms, help lift me above my sensitivity today, and give me the strength to look at this world with understanding, with compassion, and with love, and to realize that I am a healer here, that I am not here to be wounded by this world, but I am here to use my sensitivity to reach out, help, heal, and uplift others. And we also know that the 11 is based in the number 2. So you always have that ability to connect with people if you're on the 11 path. That 2 energy means that you really know how to have relationships and to be close. But also the 2 is about hunkering down and focusing on order and details of the physical world as a source of comfort for yourself. And I would caution you about getting carried away with that, because I've watched 11 path souls, when they're in pain, they start cleaning the bathroom. I mean, that's just an example, right? I'm going to put order to all of this and hunker down on my 2. And you'll have the cleanest bathroom in the universe, but you still have to deal with your feelings, and you still have to feel that pain, and you have to transmute it or ascend it. We can use our new word, ascension. We ascend that pain of sensitivity up to the higher consciousness to say, show me how I can be an angelic soul on earth and create a wave of light, love, and healing for others. That would be a good prayer for an 11 path soul. Okay, another question?
I was gonna ask, I also am a member of Helping Parents Heal, and I lost my son this year, and it was a 4 personal year, and I guess I didn't understand how the 4 fit for what my year has looked like, because my understanding was a 4 years about kind of practical kind of things, and I felt like my world just exploded. So
Well,
just
here's a different way to look at that. A 4 year is also about needing inner strength and outer strength. 4 is a number of strength more than anything. And so when we think of a 4 personal year and a year of grief, it means that you probably had to be strong for family members. Christine, you probably had to be the one to keep things going for others. And maybe you didn't even allow yourself, or you weren't able to find the place where you could have your own falling apart. But I would say that in the next year that you move into a 5 personal year, you are going to feel that you have more room to feel it, more room to grieve, more room to start exploring new ways of healing and putting your life back together in a different formation. But the 4 means you chose to go through the greatest devastation of your life and find some inner strength to get you through the year.
okay, that makes sense.
That was your soul's good choice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, anybody else? Let's go on a little guided meditation here to talk to our beloveds in spirit and ask them to give us a little advice for moving through Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, and into this powerful 8 universal year of 2024. And so let's take 3 deep breaths. Now, all of you beautiful souls, we're going directly to experience the golden globe of God consciousness light above your heads, that pure knowingness that you are part of the God source. You are not human, you are playing human, but you are at your core a powerful, God-centered, all-loving, divine being who agreed to this lifetime, who created a plan for this life before it began. And you are incredibly wise and incredibly strong, but most of all, you are a golden light of unconditional love. And as this golden light moves down through your crown chakra, relaxing all of your thoughts of anxiety, all of your worries, your fears, your pain, this golden light comes down, soothing your mind, soothing your face, your eyes, your mouth, relaxing your jaw, opening the throat chakra so that you only speak words from your highest self, your God consciousness self, opening the chest so that the heart chakra is wide open to feel and receive the unconditional love of the highest realm. Taking in a deep breath where you are clear that you are a channel of unconditional love for yourself and for everyone around you. And this golden light rolls down the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, transmuting, transforming, realigning, and recentering you completely with your highest self, your expression of God consciousness love. You are the force. You are the source. You are part of it all. You are planning ascension of your own soul and of helping others in these next few years. You've agreed to this. And in this moment, you feel yourself shaking free of the physical body, shaking free of the physical world, like a freedom, like getting out of a tight pair of clothing or tight sheets that were too tight around you in bed. You are suddenly lifting up as a being of light, golden energy emanating from every pore, every cell, every tissue in your body. You are a beaming golden light, a star rising up, traveling through the tunnel of timelessness that we all travel between lifetimes, comforting tunnel of swirling rose and purple and blue, higher consciousness colors, preparing us to leave the earth realms and totally emerge into the realm of pure God consciousness, awareness, and love. This is where your beloveds wait for you, your departeds. Right now, they're taking your hand and gathering with you outside of the tunnel, going, see, I'm doing fine. I'm totally well and happy and shiny. Let me heal you, Mom. Let me help you, Mom. And they are taking you and holding you in so much love, and you're holding them. And now your primary spirit guide approaches, standing there with you all and you and your departeds, saying, well done, both of you, to fulfill this painful soul agreement. What are your questions for me? And take this moment to ask your guide, how do you move through 2024? What is yours to do or be in 2024. Ask the guide to make it clear for you, to show it to you. And see it now. Ask your guide how you can more clearly access their guidance when you're here on earth in your everyday life. And listen to what they say. Ask your guide where you will find your greatest comfort and healing in 2024. What will serve you the most in 2024 for your healing? Ask how you can claim your spiritual power, your divinity power, most effectively in the 8th universal year of 2024. And now, ask your counsel and your guide, what is the best way for you to navigate this holiday season? How will you find comfort and spiritual connection moving through Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, while the world seems to celebrate and you might feel pain or grief? Ask the guide right now to tell you the prayer that you should put out, the call that you should make to the Spirit for help. And ask your departed how they want you to celebrate these upcoming holidays. Now, I want you all to come with me quickly. We're heading off to this healing pool area because we all need to go to this area of the divine realms as often as we can to heal, to float with our beloveds. And as we move down the path to the opening to this beautiful sacred pool of crystalline water, healing water, heals us emotionally, spiritually, and physically, fed by the enormous waterfall that comes from heaven, that comes from God consciousness, from love. Get into this pool with your beloved. Play in the water for a minute with them. They're going to get your hair wet. Let them. And now take their hand, float on your back in this pool of healing water, and look up into this mystical sky. You can see the stars, the moon, the planets, and feel at peace in this moment of floating with total trust that all is well, complete trust that you are safe, that you are healed, that you are never separate from your beloved departed. They are always with you, and that you are part of God consciousness, the infinite source of love. You are part of this. And as you float in these sacred pools, absorb that knowingness. Now, laughing with your beautiful departed beloveds and your guides and your counsel with you as well. Come back to the sacred meeting place and memorize it so that tonight in your pre-sleep state, you come right back here where you can see, touch, and feel and smell your beloved, hear their voice, kiss their hair, float in the pools with them for healing. And now we turn and move back through the tunnel of timelessness, back towards the earth realm, embracing the colors that heal us in this tunnel of purple, rose, blue, gold, healing us as we move through it, releasing any trauma of the body so that we no longer have to carry that. That is the blessing of this tunnel. It rebirths us back into our physical life anew, without the trauma, without the memories that hurt, that devastate us, only holding on to the good memories, the love, the joy, the happiness, because that is all that is real. That is all that is real in the divine. And only the divine realm is the real realm. And so coming back into our bodies, we take 3 deep breaths. Thank you so much, my beloveds. Please know that you all have access to those realms 24/7. Your beloveds are always there in spirit and form for you, that those pools are incredibly healing. You can go there every night in your dreams, in your dream vision, and that your beloveds only hold on to the love, the happiness, the joy, and that we don't want to weigh ourselves down in the trauma when those who we are longing for are not even in those trauma memories. And so we can release that, knowing that it's not needed, that we are being reborn, that this time of ascension really means the time of shedding what is no longer needed. And on that note, thank you all so much. And I'll send you out some emails and put up some more videos just for you all and then we'll meet again in a month, and I'll send the date out to you. And just know that I love you all and hold you in my heart.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Many
Thank you so
blessings.
much.
Have
Good
a
night.
wonderful night.